Well, welcome to a single-person support group night tonight here at Northwoods Credit Union Arena. We are here on Valentine's night, and I'm sure, and I appreciate all you devoted Wilderness fan couples out there that are going to be spending your time in front of the your computer, your Roku screen, or whatever device that you have that you're tuning in tonight as we got a big weekend series here as the Wilderness go up against the first place and defending Robertson Cup champs, the Aberdeen Wings, for the first of a two-game series. The third and fourth games, they'll be playing them in this arena this season. This will be the 9th and 10th times they've played them overall. It'll be a total of 12 times they'll play them. They'll be hosting the Wings once more again later this season, actually in March. The Wilderness coming off of a weekend where they were able to get a split against the Bismarck Bobcats on the road. Had a pair of road series where they picked up 5 points over the 4 games out of a possible 8 points, so not too bad. Picking up 3 points in the weekend against the Chippewa Steel, and then 2 points last weekend with the overtime victory on Saturday night to get the split in that series against the Bobcats. Kimball Johnson getting the game winner in the game on Saturday night. That was a 2-1 victory. Bram Shear got a goal in that game. Bram Shear now with points in 11 straight games. That is a record for the Wilderness now. No Wilderness player has had a streak like Bram Shear has had over the last, going back to January, I believe, early January when he started this streak. So at 11 straight games with a point for Bram Shear and rewriting the Wilderness record books with that effort right there. The Wilderness are going with Isaac Johansson as the starting goaltender for basically the remainder of the season, with Caleb Johnson suffering a knee injury, out for the rest of the year. They did pick up a young man out of Colorado that will be the backup, but may get a start here and there as well. Also new to the Wilderness lineup is a young Russian defenseman by the name of Matvey Startsev. He did pick up a couple of games last weekend in that series against Aberdeen, and will be back in the lineup here tonight. Wilderness also getting ready with 3 players going to the Top Prospects tournament. That is going to be coming up next week, as you've got 2 players that will be representing Team Central. That's Bram Shearer and Tyler Watkins. Zane Dempsey is also going on that trip and will be representing the Selects Red Squad. Of course, that tournament mainly for players who have not yet been committed, but they've got the Selects teams out there made up of players that the pro scouts want to see, and Zane Dempsey is on one of those teams. We'll hear from Zane during this broadcast during the first intermission. But as for the game tonight, I had a chance to talk to the head coach of the Wilderness, John Valancourt, about his team and their recent effort. We'll recap last weekend against Bismarck and your thoughts on getting that split in that series.
Oh, I thought we played both games really well. They were close games. It would have been nice. I think we should at least stole a point out of the first game, but end up making a bad mistake in the end, a defensive zone mistake. But besides that, they were both good games. I think any team could win. We played really well structurally. Our goaltender played well both games. It gave us a chance, especially the second game, to win when we had a really bad start. So it was good that we stole at least one game out of there, but we would have been happier if we had taken 3 out of 4 points.
Right. Yeah, you get out of that weekend, Kimball Johnson with a couple of clutch goals in both those games, getting that game winner on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, he had a very nice weekend. It's nice. His parents were up in town too, so that was kind of nice. They were up to watch the game. So had a nice job Friday night, and then Saturday, obviously, with the overtime goal with a nice play from a pass from Worth. So he's playing really nice hockey for us. And, the big thing for us that we brought him up here is we knew he could be an offensive tool. And he's found that he has been doing that for us, especially of late. So it's good to see him bring that offensive ability and bring some production from the blue line. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and the production from Bram Shearer continues to be at a very good pace, and you look at what he's been able to contribute to. The second half has just been a lot of contributions there in the points.
Yeah, I think he's really kind of come into his own in the second half of the season so far. Kind of found himself. He's definitely playing a lot more confidence here. Obviously going to the Top Prospects tournament with a lot of confidence in himself, which is good to see. So. It's good that he's playing bigger minutes, bigger role, and obviously he's a player that can dominate the ice when he chooses to, and he's been pretty consistent with his play so far, not only offensively, but he's been playing pretty well defensively as far as his responsibility with the puck too. So we're going to have to lean on him to continue to play a lot of big minutes for us and play a big role.
The league and all their deadlines with the ad drop trades and all that stuff have passed. What we've got right now is our roster for the year, and there were a couple of additions that one of them started last week. Matt Startsev. Tell us about him and what you've liked about his play, and what we can expect from him here at home.
Yeah, Mete is a player that we brought in. Obviously with Morrison going with an injury, and it wasn't so much as the season ending, it could be, but just the timing of it, where we had to make a decision. With him with another year in his command, we decided just to kind of be cautious with his rehab, and so we needed a defenseman to bring in. So Fargo is looking for a home for Mete. It's a young 0-2 Russian defenseman. He comes as a visor. It's a pro advisor. So he's kind of looking to go that route, but we've been really impressed with his skill set. Obviously, when you bring in a player of his caliber, especially from the USHL, they're going to always be a skilled player. And the big worry for us is sometimes they don't play the game hard enough for this level. But we found that, he stepped into Bismarck right away, and a new team, obviously. And he played really well for us. He's playing some power play minutes, obviously, and I think he does really well the power play with his creativity. So we've been really happy to see his contribution. We think he's going to be able to be a really good piece to our puzzle here as we move along.
Right. And him being his first year playing outside of Russia, he's already had a couple of stops here, and it's for him to be able to have a couple places to go, it can wear on a young kid, but he seems to be maturing pretty well and able to step right in.
Yeah, I know it's always hard too, especially he started in the WHL, ended up getting need to find a new home because you can only have so many imports, and the other imports were already drafted NHL, so he wasn't a drafted kid. So he found himself in the USHL when then he unfortunately took a timely injury early on. He actually lived in the same house as Myers before Myers came to us, so it's kind of funny how they knew each other. But he's healed up now, and so he's playing good hockey, and just with the way the roster freeze goes, unfortunately, some kids, if you haven't been in the lineup for a while, you had to come back from injury, you just might be the kid that's kind of outside. And so it just happened to be a perfect scenario for them where they were looking to find him a team just to kind of for him to finish with and develop him either for next season. So we were looking to find a defenseman that we needed who could come in and play more so a 6-7 role for us, unless they earned it. And so he's kind of stepped in, and I think he's been really good for us so far. He's come in, and his attention detail is really good. It's always a challenge for some of these European players to come over, especially the first year where they're still struggling with the language. Unfortunately, his older sister is an English teacher in Moscow, so that will help him, I think, quite a bit. But he's done a really nice job fitting into our locker room here, fitting in with our guys, and I think he's been a really good addition to our back end.
Very good. And then Isaac Johansson basically has the reins as goaltender. I do see he brought in a new backup with Logan Gorbitz out of Colorado as part of that situation. Looks like I see pretty good numbers there. So out of what we saw in his midget play, so it looks like he's got some good experience.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically had 2 seasons now of being a starting goaltender down there. He's a goaltender that our assistant coach knows really well. He's seen him quite a bit. So, with us looking for ideally a younger goaltender that may not get the ton of minutes he could possibly get, but could be a guy that we bring next season. He kind of fits that MO. He's been really good for us this week of practice. Comes from a really great AAA program that does a great job developing players and pushing them on. So it's always a kind of a tough decision this time of year when you're going to bring a guy up, especially a goaltender, a starting goaltender for a national team. But, he comes in, he wore a letter from this year. He was a captain of their team. So he kind of brings in that leadership mentality and that personality we look to build in our locker room as it is. And so we're pretty confident that we've done enough research on him that we know that he can step in and help the team win games, which is what we need at this point in the season, or help, give Isaac a night off if we feel like Isaac needs a night off.
And then, Isaac is going to have to be on his game tonight, it looks like, with Aberdeen. They put up they had over 50 shots in one game last week and over 40 the other night. So obviously he's going to have to be on his toes. And any other keys as far as a victory here tonight?
Well, I think Aberdeen, we've seen enough this season. We know they're good in transition, so they're a team that you got to quiet the rushes down. You can't give them on-man opportunities because they usually capitalize on that. This is a team that they enjoy having time and space, so we have to limit that. And, I think the big thing for us is just playing structured. hockey. And when we do that, especially we saw it against Bismarck, we made it tough for Bismarck to get their offensive opportunities going because we just collapsed on them on top so quickly. So Aberdeen's no different. This is a team where we don't want to give them time and space. We have to play really good defensively, good structured hockey. And then when we get our offensive opportunities, make sure we're taking advantage of it. Aberdeen does like to shoot the puck from different angles a little bit more and try to funnel guys in front of the net. So again, I think if we're just good defensively and we take advantage of turnovers, manage the puck with good purpose, I think we'll be fine.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot here. Good luck tonight. And that's the head coach of the Minnesota Wilderness, John Valancourt, as the boys get ready to take on the Aberdeen Wings, the first of two here at Northwoods Credit Union Arena. Looking at the Wilderness record, 21-19-3 record. They're 8 points out of the last playoff spot in the Central Division, currently occupied by Minot at 53 points. Meanwhile, you've got Aberdeen with a 29-6-6 record on the season. Make that 29-8-6. The Wings coming off of a sweep last weekend of those Minot Minotauros. That included an overtime win on the Saturday night contest. And it was over 40 shots one night and around 50 shots the next night that they put up on the Minot netminders. So the Aberdeen Wings flexed their muscles last week in that and those two victories. They've got a pile of players going to the top prospects tournament. You've got Connor Beatty, Cooper Haar, Jake Bonet, Jake Seibel, all going to be part of Team Central, and a few other players are going to be part of the selects teams as well. Time now to pause for our national anthem. All right, time to go to our B&B Market starting lineups for this game here tonight, beginning with Aberdeen. They will have Henry Welsh, the young man from Lakeville, Minnesota, 00 berth here, as their starting goaltender, 6'2", 194, Welsh's statistics. On defense, it is Jack Powell from Alexandria, Minnesota, 5'11", 181, a 99 berth year, along with Pearson Brandon, a 00 berth year from Irvington, New York, 6', 167. The starting forward line, Jake Bro from Actonville, Quebec, 99 berth year at center. On the right wing, it's Connor Beatty from Concord, New Hampshire, another 99. And the starting left wing is Houston Karpman from Manhattan Beach, California, 01 berth year as the starting left wing for the Aberdeen Wings. For the Wilderness, Isaac Johansson is the starting goaltender, 6'2", 196, and is a native of Marsta, Sweden, a 00 berth year. Starting defense, you've got Nelly and Dempsey as your starting D. For the Wilderness, Ryan Nelson, Wilderness captain, 5'10", 190, 99 berth year, and Zane Dempsey, 01, 6 foot, 201. And the starting forward line, Bram Shearer with Aaron Myers to the right and Jake Herter to the left to get rolling here tonight. Wilderness in white, the Wings wearing their black and the red as we are underway for the first game of this series. Jake Bro gets the pass on the right side, moves into the Wilderness zone. Puck comes free, bottom of the circle, work to the near wall. Dempsey takes his man down. Now Bro breaks free, tries to get a centering pass. Nice work, Shearer getting his stick on it. It deflects to the far wall. Wilderness move it ahead, and they break out to center. Pass for Herter, broken up by Pearson Brandon. Colgate University commit, able to dump it in on the backhand. And coming away with the puck is Nelson. He finds Bram Shearer breaking through center. Pass on the right side is a little too far. This is into the wing zone. The Wilderness set up. Herder tries to throw it toward the rear of the cage, taken away by Jake Bonet. Comes back to center, and Blake Holmes is there to fire it back into the Aberdeen zone. We've played 1 minute, no score here in Cloquet. Puck loose at neutral ice, gets batted to Tyler Watkins, and redirected into the Wilderness zone. Kimball Johnson is there to take over. Outlet pass off the stick of Nate Horn. That bounces into the Aberdeen zone. DeVita is there to play it. Works it off the boards. Got held up momentarily by Watkins before it's worked out to neutral ice. Here come the Wings the other way. Riley Murphy tried to split the defense. Blake Holmes got in the way. Nice work on the defense. And now Kimball Johnson will spin it toward the wall. Puck comes back to Holmes. He moves it for Horn. Horn breaks in on the left side and mishandles the puck thanks to the defense of Nielsen for the Wings. And here comes Aberdeen. Pass for Murphy intercepted by Holmes before it's batted back into the Wilderness zone by Zach Augie. Now Matvey Startsev takes a couple of hits as he begins his first shift here in a home white Wilderness uniform in Northwoods Credit Union Arena. Puck played toward the corner, makes its way to the near side, batted toward the blue line. Byers is there, gets a shot on goal. That's the first shot of the hockey game off the stick of Mac Byers of Aberdeen. We've played 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the opening period. Byers breaks in on the right side. Stick handling before he's toppled over by Blake Holmes. Puck goes to Russell, gets a shot away. Right on, the save made by Johansson. Wilderness clear it toward the blue line. It's back at neutral ice for Cooper Haar. On the left side, it's thrown to the Wilderness zone, collected by Johansson. He'll just let it go behind his net. That's a newcomer that got that shot away for Aberdeen. That's Mackey that got that shot away. And here come the Wilderness, able to dump it in. Actually, Crosby over to Hanzawa gets the shot away. Big pad save by the wing goaltender, Henry Welsh. Puck jabbed to the near side and collected by the Wilderness. On the right, breaking in is Hanzawa. Gets around the defense. It's redirected toward the goal. Nice work by Crosby getting that shot away. Getting the pad down was Welsh. From behind the net, it's Crosby. He got spun around there, and it's taken over by Cosentino. Cosentino leading all wing rookies in scoring. The Wilderness are there to dump it back in the zone. We've had continuous action since the opening faceoff here. This is Jordan Randall able to dump it into the Wilderness zone. Ryan Nelson able to work it along the wall. Batted toward the blue line. Jack Powell is there to dump it back in. Delayed offside call as the Wilderness work in their own end. Outlet pass goes to Allard went behind him. Stripped away. There's a shot right on. They go for the rebound, and it's collected by Bram Shearer. Costly mistake there. Almost led to a good scoring chance for Aberdeen. Shearer gets a shot away. That makes its way into the glove of Henry Welsh, and he hangs on for our first stoppage of the hockey game, coming 3 minutes and 51 seconds into the contest. You know, we got this interesting. Kevin Mackey. There we go. Found him here. Kevin Mackey, number 14, the newcomer for Aberdeen. As the puck is played to center, whipped away from Connor Beatty. Then it goes to Myers. Aaron Myers moves it ahead. It's to Jake Herder across the line. Russell looks to cut him off, and Beatty takes over. Here comes Cartman the other way. Houston Cartman had it poked off of his stick thanks to the work of Blake Holmes. Now Holmes trying to muscle Bro off the puck. Bro sends an errant pass, goes right to Jake Herder. He fires it into the Aberdeen zone. It caroms off the far wall. Moving in there is Myers, collecting it, banks it off the boards, goes to Johnson. Swung along the blue line for Holmes. He fires one and bounces wide of the goal. Nate Horn in there along the boards. It's collected by the Wings, and they look to break out. Bouncing puck along the blue line, batted ahead by Horn. It goes to Worth. Give and go play back to Horn, went underneath the stick. Shot by Brendan Sloth ends up being blocked, and an outlet pass taken by Cartman. Moves into the slot, backhand pass for Beatty. The shot right on, saved by Johansson. First big save of the game for Isaac Johansson. He denies Connor Beatty after he took a nifty pass moving in on goal. Now Bonet works it off the wall. Getting in front is Tyler Watkins. Big hit as it was Nielsen that just leveled Nate Horn. Nielsen, native of Great Britain. that played in the World Junior Tournament. Here's a shot by Tyler Watkins, and the save made by Welsh. Dempsey throws this to the far corner. And meanwhile, Anthony DePaulo muscles Horn against the boards. The Wings physical here in the opening moments of the first period. This is Dempsey breaking in left side. Tries to feed it for Hanzawa, and the pass off the mark. Here come the Wings the other way. Riley Murphy, the veteran, 4-year junior player. Backhand try ends up over to the far wall. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Deflected to the near side. They move it to the right point. Powell sends one off the boards. It deflects to the far corner. In there is Byers for Aberdeen. The Wilderness working along the wall. We got a penalty coming. That's going to be on the Wings, and that comes with 6:05 expired in period one. Going to be a high sticking penalty. So community printing power play will go to work for the Wilderness. And that says Mac Byers, that's going to the box. On a high-sticking minor. So the Wilderness, off the draw on the power play, they cough it up, and the Wings are there to clear the zone. Aberdeen's penalty kill, pretty gosh darn good, 89.3%. That's first in the Central and third in the league. They've allowed a total of only 13 power play goals so far this season. Meanwhile, the Wilderness penalty kill has been improving as of late. They did get one last weekend against Bismarck. Right now, 16.1%. That's fourth in the Central, 17th in the NAHL. 41 seconds expired in the power play. Behind the net is Kimball Johnson. Flips this one to the near corner. It caroms toward the rear of the cage, collected by Johnson. Fires it back. DePaulo was there to spin it off the boards, and it comes back in the Minnesota zone to go 200 feet once again. Less than a minute to play in the power play. Now quarterbacking behind the net, it's Ryan Nelson. Steers it for Shearer on the right side. Finds Aaron Myers. Myers is the pick to click tonight of our cameraman, Eric Lippinen. On the near side, it goes to Herter. Feeds it for Nelson. We'll get you the rest of those picks in a moment. This is Herter back to Myers, and moving in to tie him up is DeVita. Zach DeVita in there along with Houston Cartman. It comes free for Herter. Moving in is Brohl, and Brohl is right there to strip him away. And here they come once again. 2-on-2 shorthanded break. Cartman moves to the slot. Now goes to the circle, and a shot winds up wide. Final seconds of the power play. That was very uneventful for the Wilderness. Here comes Nelson to Shearer across the line for Herter. Herter along the boards, drops it for Shearer. Then he coughs it up. And right out of the box as Byers collects the puck right at the blue line. Moves in on goal, gets the shot away. And then that is right to the midsection of Johansson. He let it land right in the pads and forces a stoppage in the Wilderness zone as he denies a very dangerous player there for the Aberdeen Wings. Mac Byers who went in on goal there. Byers with 34 points so far on the season and is tied for the team lead. Or looking at his totals here, my bad, I misread that for a moment. 14 goals, 20 assists for Byers, who is slated to play collegiate hockey at Northern Michigan. Here come the Wings off the face-off centering attempt. Deflects to the blue line. Powell fakes a shot, and he fans on a second attempt. Battle for the puck on the blue line, played toward the wall. Stoyanov along the wall. Now Powell gets a shot away. Big save by Johansson. Rebound work to the far wall. Puck comes free. Murphy with it. Spins in the corner and gets tied up there by Johnson. It's worked off the wall for Bonet. Chips it down low. Murphy again. Pair of 19s back there. Kimball Johnson and Riley Murphy. Now it comes free along the boards, and it's collected by Mitch Allard. Allard gains center, gets the shot away. That sails over the Aberdeen cage. Puck jabbed along the wall, and it comes loose at center. Augie there, able to find Schneider. Gets the shot away from the top of the blue line, taken over by Johansson. The Wilderness grab the rebound. Here's Adrian off the boards. That slips into the Aberdeen end. Hanzawa couldn't reach it in time before it was cleared out. Byers took a hit, continued pursuit of the puck. Wilderness trying to match him hit for hit now. And here it's dumped in. Batted to the far side. Wings work it out of their own end. And then Byers lost control of the puck. That allows Hanzawa to take over, but Crosby skated in offside. And that leads to the stoppage with 10:24 left to play. First period, no score. Wilderness and the Aberdeen Wings. The rest of those picks to click. We have Becca Lindbergh has selected Alec Coakley. And meanwhile, we've got Volunteer Carmen. As we got a pick from her. She's going with Nate Horn. And I'm going to go with Zane Dempsey. Here is Holmes. Top of the circle. Stick handles toward the corner. Tries to center. It's stripped of the puck there by Randall. Swatted to the far side by Cosentino. They get it to the right point. And Kimball Johnson had it stripped away. This is Nathan Vertes across the line. Drops the pass. And a centering attempt for Randall. They couldn't connect. As it was Cosentino that tried to get that pass out in front. And now the Wings have to work from their own end once again. Pass too far for Vertes. And this makes its way into the Wilderness zone. Vertes is another one that played in a World Junior tournament with Team Hungary. We've got a couple of guys that were World Junior champions in this game. Vertes represented Team Hungary and won one of those tournaments. And Shikara Hanzawa represented Team Japan in another one. So both of those teams, Hungary and Japan, will move up to the next levels above what was the division that they were in this season to compete in an even higher level next year. Here is Shearer over for Startsev. Yeah, I don't know if either of them brought their gold medals to this game. But yeah, pretty good hardware there. In fact, Hanzawa played against. For Aberdeen, Cade Nielsen. Played against Cade Nielsen in that tournament that Team Japan was in. Again, Cade Nielsen representing Team Great Britain. Myers hustles after Powell behind the net. Powell leaves it for Brandon. Played along the right side. Beatty. Cartman gets the pass. Drops it for Beatty. Out in front left side, and Cartman couldn't handle the pass. Gets it back, throws it to the left point. Wilderness take over. On the left side, Dempsey able to dump it in. Dempsey got the game winner against Chippewa a couple weeks ago against his old team. Got his very first junior A goal. Pass goes to Allard, moves it ahead for Adrian. He'll fire it deep in the zone. Bounces behind the net. Back there is DePaulo along with Gavin Rasmussen. Fires it behind, and it goes for Adrian. Looks to center. That was deflected, and now Beatty takes over. Connor Beatty across the Wilderness line, left side. Tries to work his way out in front here as a shot goes behind the net. A centering attempt fanned upon, and now Allard couldn't control it. Brohl with it. Right side, Connor Beatty. Stick handling in the corner. Spins along the near side. Makes his way out in front. Backhand try went wide of the net. Wow, can this guy handle a puck? My goodness. To the left point it goes. Shot ends up wide. And Nate Adrian will wait for it. He scoots his way through center. Fires this to the far corner. Here's Hanzawa along the wall. He got checked. And here come the Wings. Riley Murphy leading the rush with Zach Augie. Fires one wide of the goal. Battle for the loose puck along the near side. 7:15 left to play opening period. Russell gets the shot away. Got caught in the skates of Kimball Johnson. Kicks loose to the circle. Here's Cade Nielsen. To the right point for Russell. Trevor Russell from Tennessee works it off the end boards. Augie with it centers. Goes to the high slot. Nielsen can't get free. It's batted off his stick. And he bats it to the corner for Murphy. He's stripped of the puck by Blake Holmes. Now Nielsen tries to skate out in front before it's poked off of his stick. Overskating is Holmes. Now Augie will try to shuffle it along the wall. Big hit by Coakley on Nielsen. Centering pass to Riley Murphy right on. The save made by Johansson, as Murphy got the shot away. And Johansson had to make a short save. You know, it's not many shots on goal, but I'd say Aberdeen, the majority of their shots have been right in front where you try to avoid those high percentage shots. Right in those areas that make the coaches and the fans nervous. We have our mid-period timeout, 6:40 left to play, opening period, no score, 5-4 your shots on goal. At this point with Aberdeen in front. Aberdeen in first place in the Central Division. They are 7 points up on Bismarck. Bismarck Bobcats sitting in second place. So Bobcats 3 points ahead of the Austin Bruins with 54 points. Minot with 53, so a very tight second, third, and fourth slots there in the Central. Looking at the rest of the league, you've got 3 teams that have clinched playoff spots so far. Fairbanks in the Midwest was the latest at 69 points the Ice Dogs have. And then the South Division has 2 that have punched postseason tickets. That's Amarillo and Lone Star. Face off to the right of Johansson with 6:40 left in period 1. Invite you to stick around for the first intermission. We'll have Zane Dempsey with an interview recorded before the game about his selection to the Top Prospects tournament. This is Tyler Watkins to work it off the boards. It goes for Horn on the near side. Deals it toward the blue line. It's taken over by Horn. He finds Stoyanov, who will dump it in. Puck caroms to Brandon. He'll work it to the far side, and it's taken from there by Schneider. Bats it to neutral ice. There is Stoyanov, tried to move it out, and Byers skated in offside as Cooper Haar had stepped across in front. And they whistle it down. You've got Cooper Haar that is set to go to Top Prospects as well. So it's Beatty, Haar, Bonet, and Seibel. Jake Seibel, the backup goaltender tonight for the Wings. And it'll be Jake DeVita, Pearson Brandon, and Henry Welsh that are going to be playing on the Selects blue team. Welsh, the starting goaltender here tonight. Welsh, UMass Lowell is where he's set to play collegiate hockey. Got a pile up at the blue line, allows the Wilderness to take over the puck. Here's Garrett Worth over for Startsev. At first mishandled the puck and then was able to jab it to neutral ice. A little bit on Startsev. He began his junior career in the Western Hockey League with the Spokane Chiefs. Here's a shot that deflects wide. And then he went to the USHL. Played only 1 game in Spokane and then has spent the rest of the year in the USHL with the Fargo Force, which is the same team that Aaron Myers played with. And in fact, he and Myers were billet brothers. Now Cosentino along the wall. Looks to center. Vertez out in front. Nice nifty move there. Tried to feed it for Jordan Randall. And the pass is off target. Shuffled along the wall by Startsev. Myers knocks it down, chips it ahead. And a chance for a 2-on-1 here for the Wilderness. Shearer with Jake Herter. Feeds it for Jake. The shot. And Welsh got in position, made a nice save. Pass comes for Dempsey, and off target, it gets to neutral ice. Now Nelson over for Dempsey. Zane Dempsey slated to play his collegiate hockey at Michigan State. This goes off the stick of Jake Herter, goes behind the wing net. Roll with it. Pass goes to the right side for Cartman, feeds it for Beatty. And here comes good hands Beatty across the Wilderness line, but good hands, bad timing Beatty on that situation as the Wings are whistled on and offside. 4:32 left to play period 1. Still no score, Wilderness and the Aberdeen Wings. Dan Holmes is in the house, wanting to make himself, make us all aware. Waving from the opposite side. May have even seen that on camera. You never know. On the near wall, it's Coakley. Alec Coakley spins and dumps it in. DeVita gathers it behind the net. Works his way along the wall and able to fire it into the Wilderness zone. Bounces in the corner. There's Beatty, able to chip it behind the net. Nelson reaches it. Finds Lewis Crosby on the right for Shikara Hanzawa across the line. Ahead for Crosby. Tried to feed it for Coakley out in front. And the Wings defense got the stick on it to deflect it. Now Bro moves in. Right side for Beatty. Tried to force it out in front. Bro got the centering pass, but it's taken away by Alec Coakley. Coakley gains center ice, dumps it in on the backhand. Wilderness change up. Here come the Wings through center. DePaulo to the left side. Murphy back to DePaulo. Tries to bat it back for Murphy. That's picked off by Kimball Johnson. Pass for Herter went off his skate and deflects into the Aberdeen zone. Jake Bonet will set up. Works it on the wall to neutral ice. Here's Murphy. Right side for Bro. He's stripped to the puck nicely by Jake Herter. Off the boards for Shearer. Gets a shot on goal. Welsh steers that aside. Clearing attempt by Russell. Got held up. Shearer will bank it down low. Russell and that was Myers that collided. Puck batted ahead. Now Zach Augie tries to find some space. Moves in on the right side. Fires one behind the net. Karams for Aaron Myers. Bemidji State commit off the boards out to neutral ice. Here comes Holmes, gets the pass. Moves in, gets the shot away. Glove saved by Welsh, and he hangs on. That's Henry Welsh. So far, 17-5-4 record on the season, 2.07 goals against average, and a .925 save percentage. So some terrific numbers there for Welsh. In fact, Welsh's numbers, though, the goals against average is 7th in the North American Hockey League. Face-off to his right. 2:40 left to play in period one. Puck comes to the near wall. Sloth jams it down low. Now in behind, over to the far side. Horn gives chase along with Brandon. Wings able to work it to neutral ice. Stoyanov slips it back into the zone. Delayed offside call. Here's Powell hustling after it. Powell was with Alexandria High School a couple seasons ago in the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Part of that squad that led them to the championship game before they fell to Orono. Now Stoyanov will take over. Works this off the boards to neutral ice. That got away from Powell. And now Brandon will step in front of his own net. Whips it off the boards. Byers comes back to the near side for Haar. Former Bismarck Bobcat gets the shot away off a leg, and it caroms to the near corner. Behind it goes for Sloth. Sloth tangling it in there along with Schneider. It comes back to neutral ice, and Cooper Haar will backpedal in his own zone. Haar also spent some time with the Lone Star Brahmas. That's where he started this season. Now Schneider fires this deep in the Wilderness zone. Bouncing puck behind the net, ends up going out of play. You look at the shots on goal, looks very even. Both teams have had their chances, although I'd say Aberdeen with the more numerous quality chances. They've tested Isaac Johansson a little more than the Wilderness have Henry Welsh. Johansson's number is 2-1-2 record on the season, 2.72 goals against average, .912 save percentage. Stopped 31 of 32 last Saturday in that overtime win over Bismarck. Bonet works it off the boards. It caroms to neutral ice. Chased down by Nelson. He feeds it for Dempsey. Back to Nelson with Vertes on the forecheck. Goes into the Aberdeen zone off the stick of Hanzawa. Coakley banks it off the far wall. It's worked out of the zone. This is Jordan Randall. Fans on the shot, has to come back for it. Deals it to Cosentino. His shot ends up behind the net. We'll hear from the head coach of Aberdeen, Scott Langer, during the first intermission. And I talked to him about the quality of play of Clayton Cosentino so far this season. Here's Myers trying to shake off pressure. Looks to center. Now Herter moves in. Wilderness getting physical back there as we're down to the final 30 seconds of this period. Vertes comes away with it. Gets it to Russell. He'll dump it in. Still no score as Kimball Johnson takes over behind his own net. Stretch pass goes to Herter across the line. Poked off his stick by Brandon. Puck comes free in the corner. There is Jake DeVita. Back for Brandon. He'll move it ahead. Gathered at center and brought across the line by Bro. Over to Cartman. Hartman spins in the corner. Final 6 seconds. Gets it to Beatty in the circle. Can't handle the puck. And it's flipped off the glass. And it deflected back in the Wilderness zone. There's the buzzer. First period is over with nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. The two teams remain scoreless through the opening period of play. Wilderness with the advantage in shots on goal, 7-6. Both goalies pitching a shutout so far in this contest as they head to the locker rooms for the first intermission. We're going to hear first from the head coach of the Aberdeen Wings, Scott Langer, with the interview recorded before the show. And we'll have that for you in just a moment. Wilderness and Aberdeen scoreless after one here on Hockey TV and Cat 7. Just to let folks know what's going on here, at center ice here at Northwoods Credit Union Arena are the Cloquet Carleton Lady Lumberjacks. They are winners of Section 7A this season in girls high school hockey in Minnesota, and they are on their way to the state tournament and are being honored here at the Wilderness game here tonight. And they're lined up here to be recognized here in front of the Wilderness crowd. And absolutely tremendous season. I got to announce a few games for them for local radio, and was an absolute joy, and had the privilege of announcing their sectional championship game, which was an absolute thriller, a 3-2 win over the Proctor Hermantown Mirage, a team that had won the previous two sectional titles in Section 7A this season. It is, in fact, it's the Cloquet Carleton's biggest rival locally here in high school hockey. A few more notes about this team here. You've got included on the squad is Taylor Nelson, no relation to Ryan, but an absolutely tremendous athlete. She ended up with the coming up through her career, which started in the 8th grade. She ended up becoming the all-time leading scorer for Cloquet Carleton girls hockey, collecting over, I think the total she finished with was 214 points before going, obviously, with her career continuing in the state tournament. So we'll see what she can do there. But you look at the numbers. In fact, the girl that she passed up is Sadie Lundquist, who has her banner hanging here at the arena. Sadie ended up going to play Bemidji State, which is where Taylor is going to be playing. And then Sadie went on to play, is currently a member of the Minnesota Whitecaps of the National Women's Hockey League. So you look at pretty good stock there to follow up upon. Oh, yeah, yep. So, yep, Sadie does work with the Minnesota Wild, in fact. So, right, so she is, she's got hockey in her blood. So, but yeah, so, so Taylor Nelson had had those numbers, and then the number 2 overall scorer, Kiana Bender, also passed Sadie's records. So Taylor Nelson, Kiana Bender, both, and Kobe, Kiana, those Minnesota Wilderness fans that have known us over the years may remember Kobe Bender. That's Kiana's older brother. Also, Cade Bender played for a snippet for the Wilderness at the beginning of this season. Also, Kiana's older brother. So you've got you obviously got a Wilderness connection there, and we share the home ice with them as well. So absolutely thrilled to see them win that championship, their first sectional title since 2009 when Sadie Lundquist played for this team. So that's right. We definitely have banner space. Yep. As you go through this game here today, you see they've got banners for the girls and you've got banners for the boys. Girls have had a little bit more success lately. The boys have not been back to the state tournament since 2008. So we're waiting. Maybe this year. Who knows? Maybe they can surprise some people. They got their playoff start. Yeah. They got their playoff starting on Tuesday. Actually going to be playing Elk River. We're going to have we got Christian Galatz for the Lumberjacks going up against Zach Michaelis for Elk River. They're going to be right here in this building playing in a high school hockey playoff game. Should be pretty fun. All right, before the game, I had a chance to talk to Scott Langer, the head coach of the Aberdeen Wings. So we're going to get that set up for you here. And Aberdeen Wings squad that prior to their series last weekend against Minot ran into a little bit of trouble against the Bismarck Bobcats. Bobcats ended up picking up a sweep of that series. Very rare to see Aberdeen get swept. And in fact, the week before, they ended up with a split against St. Cloud. So they were in a rut there where they had lost 3 of their last 4, but they did recover. And Coach Langer thinks they were still playing pretty well when they suffered that those 2 defeats against Bismarck. But they were able to recover, got a couple of wins, and here in town tonight, as we hear from the head coach of the Aberdeen Wings, Scott Langer. Well, Coach, your thoughts on the season? I guess since we've seen you here, it's been about 6 weeks, and your thoughts on how things have been going.
Yeah, for us, it's we had a tough weekend there in Bismarck. Up until that point, I thought we were playing, pretty good hockey. We actually played really well that weekend. We just didn't get the bounces we needed, but we rebounded against Minot. I think Minot's playing some really good hockey, getting great goaltending. So for us to come away with 4 points against them, I thought was big. And, we're looking to continue that, that type of play here this weekend.
Yeah, it's one thing to, you run into that, a bit of adversity, and nice to see the guys be able to continue to battle and earn themselves a couple of nice wins to bounce back from that weekend against Bismarck.
Yeah, no, I think that was the most important part is the way we rebounded. I think that either, we could have went the opposite way. And, sometimes when you drop games like that against a team like Bismarck, you could, have a little hangover effect and continue playing that way. But I thought our guys came to work and put that aside and moved on in the right direction.
Your thoughts on one of those guys that has been playing pretty strong lately? I noticed 5 points in the last 5 games for Clayton Cosentino, leading all of your rookies in scoring. How's his development this season?
Clayton's he's going to be a big time player. He's a very smart, high IQ kid that he came in as a first year player and obviously had to buy his time and figure out what it took to play junior hockey. But he's done that, and he plays in a lot of key roles for us. He's a guy that he'll play Division I hockey.
Yeah, I see you got him coming from California, and it looks like you guys have a knack for being able to find those guys, whether it be Arizona, California, some of those more unusual places.
Yeah, we have some guys all over the place, and for us, it just kind of doesn't matter where you're from. If you fit into things and you're a good person and you could fit into our culture, you can play. And in the past, I know Aberdeen before I came, they were made up of quite a few Minnesota kids, obviously with being so close to them, but for us, we kind of get out and we see a lot of players. So if no matter where he's from, if he's a good player and he's going to help us win hockey games, we're gonna bring him in.
Sure. And one of those Minnesota guys you got in net tonight, Henry Welsh, and looks like he continues to play real strong for you. Had a bit of adversity there a couple weeks ago with a couple of losses, but continues to play well for you. It looks like.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a guy that that dwells on that. You know, he actually played really well in Bismarck, even though he didn't get the results that he needed. So, but he got back in there and won a huge one in a shootout against Minot, and you know, he had to face a power play there in overtime to do it, and he played extremely well. So he's coming off a pretty good start, and you know, he's had a really good year, especially as a first year player.
All right, now tonight with this game against the Wilderness, what do you think are the big keys for victory?
Well, I just think we have to stick to what we do, and we got to work hard. You know, I always find the Wilderness team to be skilled and skate well, and they play with a lot of good pace. Obviously, I think the goaltending they brought in has done a good job for them. We just have to stick to our game plan. We can't give up too many chances against them, because I think they'll hurt you if you do. And on the other side of it, we have to be opportune. When we get a chance to bury a puck, we have to do that.
All right. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's Scott Langer, head coach of the Aberdeen Wings, with thoughts on what he expects from his team here tonight after one period of play. We have yet to see either team crack the scoreboard to get things rolling in this contest. Still no score after one between these two teams. And we're going to shift now and look at the Wilderness situation now. With had a chance to talk to Zane Dempsey before the game, and Zane is a Wilderness defenseman that just joined the team just a few weeks ago, was acquired in a trade with the Chippewa Steel. Zane followed that up by getting a goal against his old team a couple weeks ago that ended up being the game winner, and actually ended up being his very first Junior A hockey goal. And Zane Dempsey, coming from Grosse Pointe area of Michigan, where he played actually Harrison Township is his home, but his high school was Grosse Pointe Woods University Liggett, and played midget hockey there with the Oakland Junior Grizzlies before coming to the NAHL. And it was with that midget team that he secured his college commitment to play at Michigan State University. He's got some family ties that are tied to Michigan State football as well. And we'll hear a little bit about that as we hear from new Wilderness defenseman Zane Dempsey about his commitment to Michigan State and being named to the Top Prospects tournament. Well, the selection on Top Prospects tournament, your thoughts on being able to get in this bit of an all-star kind of a tournament?
I mean, obviously it's super cool. It's a big accomplishment. It's something I'm proud about, and I'm excited for it. So
yeah, you get it's a selection where you got to look at the fact that most of the players that go to this tournament have not been committed. You've got your commitment, so you've got a higher level of people wanting to watch you play. So that's got to be add a little pressure, maybe a little bit.
A little bit, but it's all fun. So you just go out and play your game, and everything will work itself out.
I see you've got a former teammate from Chippewa that's going to be with you on that Selects Red squad as well, with Killian Keeks.
Yeah. So it would be good to see him and get to talk to him a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got one of your games is against a few of those guys from Chippewa as well. So I guess a chance to butt heads with them like you did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be fun. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, well, one of the schedule has second game to you against the Team Midwest. Thoughts on that game, on that series a couple weeks ago, where you shortly after joining this Wilderness squad, you get to go down there and play against those guys?
I mean, it was definitely cool, a good experience to go back and see all my old buddies and all that good stuff. But it was a good game. We ended up we split, so it was a good job by us and them, and it was fun. Yeah.
Right. Had to be nice to get that game winner on Friday night.
Yeah, it was an awesome feeling to go back against my old team and put one in. Yeah, definitely, especially the first one too.
Did you know where to shoot on that goal? Did you kind of pick your spot there?
Honestly, I just tried to put it right next to Moberg because he was the one trying to block it. I just tried to put it right next to him, and it ended up working out. So,
all right, very good. How do you like the time you spent here with the Wilderness so far?
It's awesome. It's a great group of guys, great facilities. I really can't complain. It's been awesome.
You go from one team to another, fitting in with systems after being established in one wasn't too big of a adaptation.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, honestly. Just stuff that I've been playing for a while, so it's fine.
So I guess it's part of the territory. I guess when you get to this level of hockey, you got to be expected.
Definitely, you just you know most of the systems by just growing up playing in them, so it's pretty simple, relatively.
Tell me about being able to get that commitment to Michigan State. What's your thoughts on being able to be a Spartan?
Honestly, it was surreal. It's obviously a dream come true, and I'm excited to work my way there and get things going eventually. So
Yeah, what was it that was that kind of the dream school, or were there others that you kind of had to compete for you?
honestly, it was when I went and visited there. It just felt like a home. I felt like a place I could find myself for 4 years and just playing hockey and just evolving as a person, as a player. So it was the perfect spot for me.
Any idea on academic programs you're going to pursue?
I don't know. I've been thinking a little bit, but I was thinking maybe some type of sports medicine, something like along those lines.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pick Jared's brain, I guess, while he's here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Growing up not too far away from East Lansing, were you able to get to any games at Munn Arena over the years?
Yeah, last year and the year before that, I went to a couple games. I went and saw Notre Dame against Michigan State, and there was one more. I think it was Penn State. Yeah, Penn State. So
yeah. So good atmosphere. Seems like it'd be fun to play in.
Great atmosphere. I love everything about it.
Yeah. Do you talk to the coaches much? Do they give you any advice as far as what they'd like to see from your game develop before you do actually get over there?
I mean, here and there they talk to me. They ask how things are going and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really just getting bigger, faster, stronger, just marinating in juniors. So
yeah, just improve the game overall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell me about the family connection you have there with Michigan State, with your grandpa and him being an athlete there.
Yeah. So I grew up always being a State fan just because of my grandpa playing football there. So getting that commitment there was obviously something really cool, something I could connect with him about.
Sure, he could tell you about the experience of being an athlete there.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Michigan State football. I mean, you mentioned that was during the '60s that he played there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. There were some good teams over that period of time, so I guess he had a chance to get into some pretty good competition.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. He's definitely a big competitor. You can tell whenever we're playing cards or anything, he wants to beat you. So.
Right.
Yep.
All right, and I'm sure Saturdays have to be interesting in the household. Did your parents carry on the tradition of rooting on to Michigan State then?
A little bit. My dad's from Toledo as well, so he's an Ohio State fan. So yeah, it's weird. Okay. It's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, well, at least your grandpa didn't go to Michigan, I guess.
That's for sure. Yeah,
it would have been a little bit more awkward, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Aberdeen this weekend. I know with Chippewa you got to play them a couple times, so you know this team a little bit. What do you think you got to do to beat these guys?
I mean, they're a really good team. They're just super structured. They love to compete. So just go out there and play the way we know we can play our systems, and play hard in our systems, and out-compete them. That'll really bring us success.
All right. Well, looking forward to it here, Zane, seeing what you can do against them. And good luck this weekend, and good luck at the Top Prospects Tournament.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Zane Dempsey for the Wilderness with his thoughts as he's going to be going to the Top Prospects Tournament. Tomorrow we're going to try to get a conversation in with Tyler Watkins, who's also headed to Top Prospects. And when the tournament is over, with his thoughts on how everything went in that tournament that is going to be taking place in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and that's Monday and Tuesday coming up next week. You've got Zane representing the Selects Red Squad, which is going to be made up of players that the NHL scouts want to see. And then you've got Team Central made up of players from throughout the Central Division, all of them non-committed to NCAA programs. No score right now between the Wilderness and the Aberdeen Wings. Shots on goal, 7-6 for the opening period. Henry Welsh in net for Aberdeen, and it is Isaac Johansson in net for the Wilderness. Looking at other scores from around the NAHL, you've got Maine with a 3-2 lead over Maryland. That is headed toward the third period. And that game in Odenton, Maryland. Johnstown, PA, it's the Johnstown Tomahawks leading the Jamestown Rebels 1-0. And that game about approaching the midway point of the second period. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, you've got the New Jersey Titans leading the Northeast Generals 3-1. That game is approaching the latter stages of the second period. We got one game we're not getting a report from yet in Topeka Pilots and Springfield Junior Blues. That game is underway, but I'm not seeing a score yet in that contest. Looking at Midwest Division, Fairbanks is at Chippewa tonight. You've got the scoreless tie in that contest after one period. Minot has jumped out to a big lead over St. Cloud after one period, 4-0. Toros leading the Blizzard. Meanwhile, South Division, you've got Amarillo with a 2-1 lead over Shreveport after one. No score in North Richland Hills, Texas, Lone Star and Corpus Christi. And they're just getting underway in New Mexico. New Mexico Ice Wolves hosting We're waiting for everything to boot back up. Okay, we're back. We are back, and we are underway for the second period as the puck is sent into the Wilderness Zone. And once again, the other scores. One other score to report to you out of the Central Austin Bruins and Bismarck Bobcats. Scoreless right now, also early in the second period. That series this weekend in Austin. We're underway. Here we go. I got Henzawa behind the net trying to whip the puck out in front. That's chipped away to the far wall. Sent behind the cage again. This is Hanzawa trying to shake loose as he gets the puck to the point. A shot by Johnson sails over the cage. Hanzawa kicks it ahead, banks it down low. This is Lewis Crosby trying to work himself free. The puck kicks free. Now Brandon is there to clear the zone for the Wings. Cartman takes the pass, skates across the line, moves it to the right side, and a shot from Connor Beatty ends up wide of the net. Hanzawa tangling with Brandon, able to chip it to neutral ice. Wilderness changing up here in the opening minute of play of the second period. Still no score. Here come the Wings. Pass comes to Cartman. Banks it off the boards. Gets the puck again. Brings it across the line. Had it taken away. Played toward the Wilderness cage. Batted to the far wall by Johansson. Batted toward the line out to neutral ice where Jake Bonet has to recover. Feeds it for Anthony DiPaolo. Throws this one right to Kimball Johnson. Wilderness breakout. This is Herder. Over to Shearer and a shot right on. The save made. And getting the glove down was the goaltender Welsh. That was a nice little scoring play attempt there for the Wilderness. Maybe their best chance of the hockey game, as that was Shearer from the far circle getting the quick drive away for the first shot on goal of the period. Shearer and Nielsen in on this faceoff. They move it to the left point. Startsev has to come back to neutral ice. It caroms toward the rear of the Wilderness cage, taken over by Stoyanov, chips it off the wall, intended for Herder. Nielsen cuts it off. Feeds it down low. Puck banked off the wall. Mackey gets a shot away. That's blocked, and it's taken back by Aaron Myers. Moves in on the right side, gets a shot away, cleared aside by Welsh. Welsh played his high school hockey at Lakeville South, was part of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament a couple seasons ago. Was part of a multi-overtime game against Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie ended up winning that game, but Welsh had an absolutely outstanding game. Puck played toward the corner. You got Shearer in there along with Stoyanov, but the Wings come away with it. They get a shot away right on. The save made by Johansson. He just smothers the puck and will force a face-off in the Minnesota zone as we played 2 minutes and 20 seconds of period two. And Johansson will watch this faceoff come to his left. Johansson acquired from the Utica Junior Comets of the National Collegiate Development Conference. Pass intended for Watkins. It deflects toward the corner, whipped to the near side, and it's Horn to the right point. Nelson sends this one off the end wall. Garrett Worth is back there along with Horn. Horn got tripped up. The puck comes free. Here's Watkins, deals it to the right point. Nelson sweeps it for Dempsey. Fires this down low, going after it Horn, and that was cut off by Bonet. Puck jabbed out to neutral ice. Here's Dempsey. On the far side, Watkins sends it cross ice for Nelson. Gets a shot away from the red line, rather. And that is steered aside by Welsh. Puck worked out to neutral ice. Cooper Haar feeds it for Byers. They move in 2-on-2. Byers over for Schneider. And getting a stick on it to deflect it was Nelson. Haar able to deal it for Byers. Gets the shot away. That was off the leg of Nelson. Spinning is Randall with a shot blocked by Dempsey. Here come the Wilderness the other way. 3-on-2. Here comes Worth across the line. And he got tripped up and dragged down. Brandon got a stick on him, and the penalty is going to be called. Minor penalty coming on Pearson Brandon. And Brandon going to the box for tripping. Extended discussion with the official, and I'm sure the official is giving him Valentine's Day relationship advice as he goes to the box. And the Wilderness will have their second power play of the night. 3:32 into the contest, into the second period. Community Printing power play will go to work. Wilderness 0 for 1 so far with the man advantage. Welsh to watch this draw to his left as it's worked toward the corner. Wings are able to clear as they gather the puck right away. They send it the length of the ice. This is going to be Nelson to work from behind his own net. Nelson with Shearer, Myers, Holmes, and Herter on this power play. It's dumped in by Nelson. Ricochets to the far side. Bro deals it for Russell. It comes free behind the net. Battle for the loose puck won by Shearer. Feeds it for Nelson. Down low to Herter. Off the boards, Holmes behind the net. Holmes stick handling to the near wall. Drops it for Herter. He feeds it for Myers in the far corner. Out in front, Holmes had to take it off his skate. And that allows Bro to come up with it. Feeds it for Cartman, moving in left wing. To the circle, gets a shot away, and that pops up in the air and falls in the glove of Johansson. Looks like he's done that before. Once or twice. Allows it to fall safely in the basket of his glove. Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it happen the wrong way at times, but he knew what he was doing there. Minute 11 remaining in the Wilderness power play. Best scoring chance has been off the stick of the Aberdeen Wings on this power play. Here's Kimball Johnson. Extended pass goes to Worth. He redirects this to the Aberdeen net. And that is controlled by Welsh. And that at least gives the Wilderness an offensive zone draw. That comes with a minute 2 remaining in the power play. Wilderness did get a power play goal against Bismarck last week. They also picked up one the weekend before against Chippewa. Wilderness win the draw. Goes to Johnson. Feeds it for Horn. Back to Johnson. Horn at the half wall. Back to Johnson. He's got Dempsey. High slot. One-timer by Watkins. Goes off the side of the net. Out in front is Garrett Worth. He just got knocked down. Now back on his feet as the Wings clear the zone. Dempsey gets the puck back to Johnson. Kimball Johnson from behind his own net. 35 seconds remaining in the Wilderness power play. On the left side for Worth. That goes off of Nielsen's stick, deflects into the crowd, out of play. Face-off coming just outside the Aberdeen end. Here are your officials tonight. The referee is A.J. Potvin, linesman Jared Cummins, and Daniel Van Loon. There's a good hockey name for you, Potvin.